All right, guys. Welcome back to the Let's Talk Ball pod. This is going to be episode 41. I am your host, Tochi, aka Toch Talks Ball, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Spain. We are going to talk to you guys about Game Week 15 of the Premier League, talk about all the action that happened, and then look ahead to Game Week 16. But before we do that, thank you guys for watching, as always. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. If you want to get in on casting your votes for the Game of the Week, or not Game of the Week, but the Game Week Awards, where we talk about our winners of the week, losers of the week, goal of the week, that kind of stuff, let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you. But before we jump into the rest of the pod, Spain, how you doing?
Doing well. Took a early gum punch to start my Saturday with Arsenal conceding late to Villa. But yeah, so tough start to the Saturday after that result, but overall doing well. Had some holiday parties, hung out with some friends, hung out with some people in my building, so it was a good weekend overall. How about you?
Nice. Yeah, good weekend for me. I can't even remember what I really did, to be honest, so maybe not that good of a weekend, but, I was enjoying relaxing. I got to see United win on Monday, so, that's always a treat for us. You never know how few or far between those are going to be. Hopefully there's many more to come but it was just Wolves, so not getting carried away yet. But we don't need to talk about the United versus Wolves matchup yet. Before we do that, let's jump into just talking about Game Week 15. Starting with our Game Week 15 awards. If you're not familiar with this, we always talk about we talk about winners of the week, loser of the week, match of the week, goals of the week, any performances that are worth talking about, unsung heroes, surprises of the week, that kind of stuff. And so, starting from the top, let's start with our winners of the week. Who did you have as your winner, Spain?
My winner of the week, fortunately, had to be Villa. They had 2 wins this week, beating us, and then whoever they beat in the midweek, and they're up to 3rd. I hate to say that they're the winner of the week because my hot take in last week's pod was that Villa were going to finish below United come the new year, which still could happen, and I still don't believe Villa are going to keep riding this super hot form they're in, but they look good this week and got 2 big wins, so they got to be the winners of the week.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going to ask you about your updated Villa take after the match. I feel like the game that they played against you guys, we can maybe talk about this in more detail in that section when we talk about Arsenal in more detail, but I feel like the game Villa played against you guys is probably the best I've seen them play all season. Yeah. I feel like we both agreed they had been pretty fraudulent leading up to it, like just not super convincing eye test wise. A lot of their goals were I guess you could call them improbable goals, maybe not improbable, but low percentage, low XG shots. That was bailing them out of situations, but they just keep finding a way to do it. Unai Emery's got those boys rolling. I cannot believe they went from not scoring a single goal in the first 5 matches, I think it was the first 5 matches of the season, to then winning 9 out of the last 10. I mean, that's an incredible run. And now they're up into 3rd place, 1 point behind City and only 3 points off of Arsenal. I don't believe that they can keep this up. I just don't see how they do it, but maybe the more that we doubt them, the better that they'll perform.
We'll save more of the talking points later when we talk about the game in more depth. But I think something that has to do with it is that teams are really showing up to play Arsenal at home. Like, we are the best team in the league at the moment. So I think when it's a good team like Villa, like Chelsea, especially teams that like to fight and be physical, when they're at their home stadium, we're coming out to play and they want to give a good performance. So I think that adds a little extra edge to why these 2 teams, Chelsea and Villa, have looked so good against Arsenal recently.
Yeah, that checks out. Well, I got to agree with your winner of the week, but I've got another one. It's not a particular team, but it is the neutral fans that are just looking for a good title race, because with you guys losing that match to Villa, it made everything look suddenly a lot closer. Arsenal are now only 2 points clear of City, like I said, only 3 points clear of Villa. And so it looks like it's going to be a little bit closer of a title race at this point. A lot can happen. There's still a lot of games to go. So, it can explode. The gap can go back open soon, or it can keep closing. But I would say for anyone that's wanting to see a good title race, I think it became much more interesting with Arsenal dropping those points to Villa. So that's my winner of the week.
That's a good one. Do you have a loser of the week?
Loser of the week. I'll let you take this because you put it in the notes, but I agree with it, so I'll let you take it.
Okay, it has to be Chelsea. They were all feeling high and mighty after getting a draw against Arsenal at home. And
Mm,
granted, it was a good performance, but they were all high and mighty. Ooh, it was a title race, blah blah blah. And then this week in the midweek they lost to Leeds, and then they drew 0-0 against Bournemouth. So with them dropping points, I think they're now like 9 points behind us. So after them feeling all good and having a good performance against us, but only getting a draw, these two performances have to have Chelsea as the losers of the week.
yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I think, they had such a high moment coming off of that draw, like you said, and then since then, it's just, I mean, I think they're probably missing Caicedo a bit in the league. Um, but yeah, that loss to Leeds and then that draw to Bournemouth were pretty demoralizing. And then again today, they just played in the Champions League and lost to Atalanta 2-1
Oh,
in the
they did?
Champions League today as
Nice.
well. So the vibes seem to be pretty low at Chelsea. I did not watch the game today super closely, so I can't really like pinpoint exactly what their issues are, but definitely a team that's struggling. I saw some text from Christian after the match, and he was feeling pretty frustrated. He was saying before the leading up to the Arsenal game, I meant to invite him to come on the pod because he was like, we've got Barcelona the week before Arsenal and then Arsenal the weekend after, and I'd love to get on there and kind of do a little preview, talk about the game. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to go on the pod anymore with the way Chelsea are playing. So I think he's
I
been
love
scared
that.
off a little bit.
Good,
Uh,
good.
but what about match of the week? What do you got for that?
Match of the week, that had to be the Liverpool Leeds game. That game was
Hmm.
saved all the goals for the second half.
Yeah,
And then Liverpool scoring two. Then it was exciting to watch Leeds come back and get two to equalize. And then Liverpool went up 3-2, and then Leeds got a late equalizer. I was also at a Liverpool bar with some friends, so that was fun being in a bar full of Liverpool fans, seeing them
nice.
have their hearts broken and get
Yeah,
frustrated. The late equalizer for Leeds.
yeah. What a game that was for them because 6 second half goals, first of all, is crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and then Liverpool go up through Ekatike twice in a short
Yep.
span of time. He's looking like that's like a whole conversation that probably needs to be had. Is like the whole Ekatike Isak thing, where Ekatike's come in and looked like the better striker as of right now, and then Liverpool or Leeds answered with 2 goals. I love seeing Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think he scored against I forget what teams it's been against, but I think it's like Chelsea, Liverpool, and maybe like City or like one other big team. He scored in like 3 games recently that were all big teams. So good on Calvert-Lewin. I hope he like continues to find form for Leeds and keeps scoring
Mm-hmm.
goals for them. But then Liverpool go and get that late goal, and it looks like they're gonna like actually, maybe like they really are bouncing back. It's 3-2, and like their luck is turning. But then Tanaka, I think the guy's just been an absolute dog. He's a ball striking demon, and he scored in the 96th minute, and it was absolutely electric. As someone that loves the Liverpool hate watch, I really really enjoyed that game as a neutral fan. Maybe
Same.
not
Being
neutral is the right word.
Yeah, definitely not neutral. But that was like the best part about it was that you got to see like the fans get excited for them to go up, and then excited again when they went up 3-2, and then so you got to see their hearts broken twice when Leeds like,
Yeah,
equalized the first time and then equalized the second time. So it was really
yeah,
nice.
yeah. It was indeed. Um, Let's see what else. What else? Let's move on to goals of the week. I can let you take one of these here.
Okay, I will. I'll go second. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll say mine and leave the other one for you. But my goal of the week is Phil Foden's goal, solely for the Ryan Cherky Rabona assist because that
Yeah.
was nasty work from him.
Yeah.
You've seen plenty of clips of him doing stuff like that in training in other games in like League One. But for him to break that out in the Premier League was something special. It was so
Yeah.
smooth, so silky of him. Put it right on a platter for Foden to header it home. And then it was cool to see Foden's kind of in his celebration. And he was kind of freaking out after it went in, just at Turkey's assist because it was so nice.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That was definitely a fun goal. Like even as a Manchester United fan, I can admit like I enjoyed watching that goal happen. I think Ryan Cherky coming to the league kind of promised like that flair and that that pizzazz that he brings to the game. Like he's someone that like plays the Yoga Bonito. He loves to play the beautiful game, and like he loves to get people off of their feet. And I feel like he's been doing that a little bit over the last couple of weeks at City. Like insane to see that he was joint top of the league for most assists in the league, along with Bruno Fernandes before Bruno played on Monday, and he's played a fraction of the minutes. Like he was out hurt for a long time, so he's just coming in and immediately being effective, even though he was out hurt. But like, what a great performance! I think the assist just topped off what was a very good performance from him all day. To be honest, I guess I'm cheating ahead to the player/performance of the week, but that was going to be my player or my performance of the week was Ryan Cherky. So I'm glad that you brought that up as the goal of the week, because that Rabona was nasty indeed.
Yeah, we need a phrase for like Yoga Bonita for like the North African techers. We haven't had too many of those types of players in the Premier League, like a Ben Arfa, a Del Turab, who's like QPR. Those are all kind of like the North African, really techie, super skillful players. So love having a super skillful player like Cherky back in the league, even though it is for City and helping them.
Yep. I'm definitely scared of what he can do. I mean, he created 6 chances in the week, which I think was like the most out of any player besides Bruno, or not besides Bruno, like even more than Bruno, who is like a chance creation monster. So excited to see what he continues to do this season. I'm interested to see how much he plays for City. I've always doubted kind of like the defensive side of the game, and like I feel like he does look a little limited when he's like got to like really hit a full sprint and kind of run in transition sometimes, but I guess it doesn't really matter with the way City plays a lot of the time. So
I don't know if I've seen him hit a full sprint. Like I don't know if that's like really in his game. I don't know what it looks like for him, because he's always so like, kind of smooth and calm.
Yep.
What is your
other goal of the week though? Yeah, my other goal of the week is the Fulham goal. Harry Wilson, just incredible goal from Fulham. I guess it's like Iwobi's got the ball kind of a little bit. They've got who are they playing? They've got Crystal Palace kind of in a block scenario, low block scenario. Iwobi's on like the outside of the block, and you could see, I think Raul Jimenez, like it looks so coordinated, because Raul Jimenez was like gesturing like, hey, give it to Harry Wilson. Like they kind of saw the play coming before it happened, and Iwobi plays an incisive ball into the block, and then first time Harry Wilson taps it over to Jimenez, who then first time back to Harry Wilson, and then what was it, left foot, outside the foot, almost like into the left corner.
Yeah.
Like left right from the top of the box, just like so clean. Like every touch, by the pass was clean, the first touch was clean, then the pass back was clean, and then his finish was probably the cleanest touch of them all. And I feel like Harry Wilson's goal catalog is just absolutely nuts. Like he's a player, like I'm looking at him now, I'm like, do I go get this guy in fantasy? Like, is he worth it at this point? Like, because I feel like he's starting to play more consistently, and the dude has a nose for goal, and he's got a nose for the spectacular. So great finish, but great team goal is why I wanted that to be in the goal of the week.
Yeah, he's scored some great goals for Fulham. That's the first thing I texted you about. That was Harry Wilson's goal catalog is nuts for someone who like usually doesn't start for them. He's just got a worldie in him. And I saw Premier League posted on Instagram like a catalog of his goals, his 5 greatest goals for Fulham. So it made me feel kind of good that I shouted that before they posted that. He loves to score a goal from far out, or just a really nice one.
All right, let's move on. I already talked about Cherky for the performance of the week, so we can skip that. I see you've got a surprise of the week. What do you got for me there?
It's got to be Everton. Everton. I mean, this is definitely the lesser of the headline for this one. I see what you wrote down. But Everton winning 4 of the last 5 and up to 7th place. Granted, it is really tight in there, but Everton have been like sneakily on good form recently.
Yeah, definitely. I can get behind that. I feel like David Moyes has got those boys rolling. They look like a unit. I mean, United should have beat them when they went down to 10 men, but I did really respect like how well they worked as a unit, both defensively, but they've also got such good individual quality like in key positions that helps them be a little bit more effective. So they're not just a good defensive side. They can go out and score and create and beat a team like Nottingham Forest 3-0 when they get things to go the right way. Jack Grealish has been incredible for them this season. Iliman Ndiaye is one of my favorite players to watch in the league this season. Dewsbury Hall is going crazy right now. And then I love seeing Tierno Barry finally get his goal in the Premier
Same.
League. He's been trying so hard, been getting so close. He got his goal disallowed last week, and you could tell how much it meant to him last week and how disappointed it was when it got disallowed. And then this one again when he scored, was just so happy. Like
Yeah.
that was probably one of my favorite stories of the week. So
Yeah, pure
this
relief
Everton
and pure
team, the
joy from
vibes are
him.
good. Exactly. And his teammates were so happy for him too as well. So I
'Cause
feel
you
like the vibes over at Everton are just so good right now.
Yeah, because you can tell he's really trying hard, and like putting in the effort, just wasn't clicking. So hopefully it'll lead to more goals for him and just give him that confidence boost to get more.
Yep. Yep. Definitely.
And
Definitely.
I'm also liking that because I think I shouted Everton to finish sixth or top 10, maybe eighth or something.
Yeah.
In my preseason prediction. So I like what I'm seeing so far. Hopefully it carries through.
It's looking good. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like they look good money for it. They don't look like they're lucking into it like Aston Villa over there. So
And I
we'll
think they're
see.
still kind of figuring things out with some of the newer players. I'm hoping they kind of build into this form and keep it going and keep
Yeah.
being more consistent because they had a pretty rough start.
Yeah, they did. I would love to see Tyler Dibbling get some more minutes. He was one of my
Yeah.
favorite players to watch last season. He's on Everton. He just hasn't really had as much time to get embedded. I think Moyes basically said he wants to play him more and he wants to get him in rhythm. They just got to find more scenarios where, like, it's more comfortable for them to bring a kid into the game. I mean, it's hard to get a winger on the field when you've got Jack Grealish and Njai on both sides. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, let's stay in Liverpool for your surprise of the week.
Yep. My surprise of the week was not a match that happened, but it was the Mo Salah drama. So if you guys have not been paying attention, there's been what looks like a complete fallout between Mo Salah and Everton. Or not Everton, sorry. Mo Salah and Liverpool. So I'm looking at my Everton scoreline over here to my right. But this past weekend, I think it was after the Leeds-Liverpool game, after they drew 3-3, Mo Salah came out and basically was like, I think it's wrong that I'm not playing right now, and I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm being made to be the scapegoat. I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, I feel like I'm being made to be the scapegoat. I used to have a good relationship with the manager. Now there's no relationship at all. I think they're trying to force me out. And he basically went public to the media to voice his concerns about his treatment at Liverpool. And in the aftermath of that, it's become all this drama. We had Jamie Carragher giving his opinion on it. Slot was pretty blunt in his pre-match press conference ahead of the Champions League game that happened today, basically saying, like, no player's bigger than the club, and that's why Mo Salah's not with us today. And it's basically become a very public feud. And I'm thinking it might end up with Mo Salah even being sold. Like, Mo Salah I think he came out and said, I'm not sure if I played my last game for Liverpool or not. Because he's about to go to AFCON, and then by the time AFCON is over, it's the January transfer window.
Yeah,
So I would be surprised.
Yeah, it was. He said that he told his family to come to the Brighton game, which is the last home game before AFCON, and then they asked Klopp at the press conference whether Mo Salah's played his last game. That's where that verbiage came from, and he said, "I
Okay.
don't know."
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been seeing all sorts of rumors. Like, I don't want to feed too much in the rumor mill, but I've seen rumors that they think his future at Liverpool is done. And I don't know, I feel like I agree. Not because I think it should be, but I just feel like the way Liverpool has gone about this, they've been struggling recently, but I don't think it's because of Mo Salah.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
mean, maybe Liverpool fans can chime in and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't watch a whole lot of them, but I feel like I've seen enough to be like, Salah is definitely underperforming this season. But for him to be benched 3 games in a row and then be an unused sub in a game that you're drawing, I just feel like you'd expect to see Mo Salah, who's been your best player for the last however many years, come on and at least see if he can make an impact late or help you guys out. Granted, Leeds scored their goal really late, so I get that they were mostly winning late in the game, but I don't know. I just felt like the treatment of him has been kind of wrong. I don't endorse what he did by going out publicly and questioning the club. I think that's always going to be a losing battle for the player. But at the same time, I do think I think they've been sneaky trying to force him out of the club, like kind of create an issue and like almost come up with an excuse to sell him. I think they were pretty reluctant to hand him a contract, but he basically forced their hand with the season that he had last season. But
Yep.
I know they're not a team that likes to hold on to older assets. They like to cash in at the right time. And I think they see like they can get a lot of money from Mo Salah right now, and I think they see the writing on the wall. They think he's past his peak, and so I think Michael Edwards and Liverpool are not dumb. I think they know what they're doing. They're trying to get him out of there.
Yep, totally agree. I definitely think that Liverpool's ownership are very calculated. Like you said, they've always got a plan, and they always have like a long-term plan. And I think that Mo Salah, what they signed him, he's got 2 more years left on his contract, a massive contract. And I don't think when they signed him, they ever expected him to stay for the full 3 years. I think probably 2 max, and then they'd have an extra year to sell him. So they would get some value for him. But with him underperforming, I think they've fully bought in Slot and the new regime they're bringing in with all these young players they're signing. So, yeah, I think it'll be Salah to go before Slot goes. Will it be in January? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised at all, especially if Mo Salah is that unhappy, and because it's going to be just a non-stop talking point for the rest of the season. So I would not be surprised at all if he does leave in January if Mo is really that unhappy. And this is not the first time we've seen Mo Salah go to the media. He's very calculated. He did this last year when he was having a really good season. They kept asking about his contract because he had a new proposal sent to him. And he was very public about it, saying, yeah, they haven't come to me, which I think was calculated to get more money because he was having such a great season. So I think this interview was also very calculated on his part. And, of course, he waited for a game where they drew against promoted Leeds, especially in a late equalizer. So very interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting stuff. I just feel like football's a cruel world, man. I mean, I think this kind of goes back to, I forget who I was talking to about like bomb squad stuff and like player power and whatnot. I guess it was like the whole Isak situation, actually. We were talking about that. I remember sitting down talking about that with Adam because he's a Newcastle fan. And we were talking about the Isak situation and like players speaking out and doing certain things. And like, do I think Mo Salah should have spoke out against a club like that? No, but I do think the club are kind of doing him dirty in the sense that like there's just like no loyalty. I think as soon as he had any dip in form, they hit the panic button. They're like, get him out of here, and like they don't care. Like I don't know, he did so much for the club, but I mean, I guess when it's time to move on, it's time to move on, and you kind of got to be that way in a certain sense if you want to protect yourself. So I guess I can understand both sides of it. It's been really interesting seeing Liverpool fans' reactions as well, because I feel like it's pretty divisive. I feel like a lot of people are kind of like, I kind of back Mo Salah here, but I also don't think people should be speaking out against the club. So it's like a really conflicting situation.
That's what I'm really interested to see is with the fans, what side they take. Because personally, I think I think given how they treated Trent Alexander-Arnold, which I don't agree with at all, but given how they treated Trent, Salah should be treated worse than Trent was. Yeah. Because I think Trent had a desire to leave and had no ill will to the club, whereas Mo Salah, yes, he's kind of being forced out, but he's being intentionally detrimental to the club. So I think fans, just based off how Trent was treated, should treat Mo Salah worse.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. I didn't even think about the whole Trent saga in relation to this, but he definitely got absolutely abused, booed, whatever on the way out, and I thought it was wrong at the time. And I think if you're going to do that to Trent, you better keep that same energy from Mo Salah. But I guess it's complicated because the team is performing so badly that it's also easy to kind of be like, oh, Slot doesn't know what he's doing, or this and that. Like, I think it just muddies the water a little bit. Very interesting stuff, though. I mean, I want to see how this concludes, and I think it's far from over.
Yeah, it's only been like 4 days, which is like 3 days, which is nuts. And Salah posting just the Instagram picture of him just sitting in the gym alone because he was told not to go to Inter Milan. Yeah, so very, very interesting what's gonna happen.
Yeah, very interesting.
I feel like Liverpool and Slot, like I have to believe that they want him out because why would you not play him when you got all of AFCON to try not playing him?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that would have been a time to make like it an uncontroversial time to test out not playing Mo Salah on the team. But
Yep.
instead, you decide to bench him and not bring him on as a sub at all, even like right before AFCON. So
That's what I'm saying.
that's what makes me think they have to want him out.
Yeah, it felt very pointed to me. Like it felt
Mm-hmm.
calculated on both
Mm-hmm.
sides.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on from the most solid drama. Get back into our Game Week 15 awards. Unsung Hero of the Week. I see you got a good one in here, so I'll let you take it.
Yeah, this one might be a little early. It's only like 2 games, but Javi Simmons, he started the last 2 games, played really well in both of them. That's over the weekend versus Brentford. He was the man of the match for them, and then he also started this today in their Champions League game and had a good performance from what I could tell on FOTMob. I wasn't able to watch that game,
Yeah.
um, but just thought he should deserve this award because he was on Fraud Watch earlier in the season. He wasn't adapting well. He looked really lightweight, and looks like he's having a bit of a turnaround to his season at Tottenham, which is not unsurprising because he is new to the Premier League.
Yeah.
So I do think this might be a little early. There's only 2 games where he started, but the fans have been wanting him to come on more. So I start more. So I think he has been putting good performance off the bench, and his last 2 starts he's looked a lot better.
Yep. Yep. I agree with that. He scored a nice goal against Brentford and also had the assist in that match. And then, yeah, again today in the Champions League, I think he had a goal against them. I didn't see the performance either, so I can't really speak on how his general play was. But the fact that he's getting in and around the goals and assists is exactly what you want from a player like him. That's what he was brought in to do. It seems like he's kind of finally finding his feet, finding his confidence. And, I mean, he's a player that I've always liked, so I want to see him do well. I think people maybe not forget. I think people remember like he was one of the most hyped wonder kids growing up. Like there's videos of him on social media. Like I think coming up through Barcelona's academy, I think it was La Masia, as like a young
Mm-hmm.
kid going viral. And I mean that's a lot of pressure to hold on your shoulders. And he's still only 22 years old, so I hope he succeeds because the Premier League has a lot of eyes on it, and Spurs are already a banterable team. So like I think he's an easy target. So I just would like to see him maybe not be too good, but at least be able to like hold his own and be respectable.
Yeah. Or have a good season and have a club come along and scoop him up so we
Yeah,
can
snatch him up.
fully cheer for him.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But I think I like that. I like that as my unsung hero of the week. What about Fraud Watch?
I've got Chelsea. I already talked about them being the loser of the week, so I won't really expand. I'll just say Chelsea because they were all high and mighty against Arsenal, getting that draw, and then lost to Leeds and then drew to Bournemouth.
Fair enough. I don't think I have a better one than that. I don't think anyone is quite exposing themselves too badly. Just looking here. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think we are good to go. Maybe I'll put Bournemouth on Fraud Watch just as a team. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they started off really hot. People were really high on them, but they seem to be struggling. I haven't been watching their games in detail to again be able to pinpoint where exactly I think they're going wrong because I feel like they're scoring goals and they're getting disallowed for like offsides and like random things
Dude,
like that.
yes, that's what's
Like
happening
so
a
many
lot.
offside goals for them. So like I feel bad like pinning that on them, but just maybe something to watch. It's a watch, It's not. I'm not saying they're
Mm-hmm.
frauds. I'm watching them.
Yep. Yeah. I brought in Semenyo this week, so I was watching that game, and he came close to getting points, and of course he did not.
hmm Yeah, I mean, didn't he score in the like very beginning of the game? I think he did.
Yeah, and it was like a barely offside on
Yeah,
Evan Nelson, I think. It was like
yeah.
I was so excited too when he scored that goal, and then I
hmm
was heartbroken when it was offside.
Yeah, and then just disappointment for the rest of the game.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, but that's it for the Game Week 15 awards. Unless you got anything else from Game Week 15, if not, we can jump into United and Arsenal specific updates here.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. If you don't mind, I'll start with Manchester United this week. Looking at the game, Manchester United played Wolves. They won that match 4-1 away on the road at the Molineux. Nothing too crazy to take from the game, but I'll just start from the top. So team selection wise, I was really interested to see how Ruben Amorim was going to line up, because after a couple disappointing performances, I knew he was going to have to switch something up. There's been so much noise around the Kabi Manu situation. I swear every major outlet, maybe not even major outlet, and even little accounts, I'm seeing people posting about Kabi Manu and his situation. And I was thinking, maybe this is a chance to put Kabi Manu into the starting lineup. Ruben Amorim did not do that. Instead, he dropped Joshua Zirkzee and then started Mason Mount instead. So Zirkzee dropped from the 9. Cunha was our de facto 9. And then Mason Mount came in as the left 10 to replace Cunha. And I actually think Amorim got that choice spot on, because Mason Mount put in a man-of-the-match performance against Wolves.
That's really good.
I really like the dynamic that they have. We did this against Liverpool as well, and I think we've probably done it 1 or 2 other times this season. I love the dynamic when we get Mount, Cunha, and Mbeumo as our front 3, because all 3 of them are pretty interchangeable players, and even Ahmad will start interchanging with them too. And I think it makes us harder to defend. Like, we don't have that focal point up front as a back to play guy, but the way Cunha can drop in and then Mount runs in behind to take the space, or Mbeumo and vice versa, I think it just works so well. It makes us a little bit harder to defend. And all 3 of them are so quality on the ball that I think they can just kind of make stuff happen. So it was nice to see that adjustment, and I hope I see Mason Mount playing more minutes. I think I've said this before a couple of times now, but my take coming into the season was that Mason Mount was going to have a very good one if he could just stay healthy. And it's looking like that. He's got 3 goals in his last 4 games for United, I'm pretty sure. So he's starting to gain confidence. So really, really excited to see more of Mason Mount. I just think he's such a good fit, and his IQ as a player, he's just got he's exactly what you want in football. He's got great physical, he's super athletic, so he's really good pressing, but then he's really smart, so he knows actually how to where to be. So not only does he know where to be, but he's got the physical abilities to make it happen. But then when he's on the ball, he's also got the technical abilities. There's a couple times a game that he hits these first time passes, or takes a quick 1-2 touch. He's just so intelligent with his movements, but then has the technicality to pull it off as well. I think I understand why managers really love having Mason Mount in their team. So I'm hoping that he can stay healthy, stay fit, because I think he's, in my opinion, almost got to be a starter. I think the only reason he doesn't start more games for us is because we're trying to protect him from injuries, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's going to have a great opportunity with Mbeumo going to AFCON, and he could really nail that position down to make it his own.
Yeah.
Granted, Mbeumo's been really good, so we'll give something for Amber to think about. But yeah, really good time for Mason Mount to really make his mark on that starting position in the 10.
Very true. I actually did not think about that, but that's going to be huge, because I'll touch on this later, but I'm scared to see what this team looks like during AFCON. But let me talk about what happened in the game. So to start the game, first of all, the atmosphere at Molineux was crazy toxic. What's going on at Wolves is bad. Their team is really bad, but the fans are fed up with ownership, so they were protesting their owners. So they the fans didn't even come into the seats for the first, I forget however many minutes of the game. The fans were not going into the seats as a form of protest. And then when they did get in the stadium, they were toxic. They were booing every mistake that the team was making. They were really getting on the backs of the team, and they were chanting "sell the club" for half the game. I think they're all just really fed up, because Wolves as a club, they keep selling their best players and not replacing them, and I don't understand why. If we're just going down the list, they gave us Mateus Cunha, who was such a big part of their team, didn't really replace him with anyone this summer. They almost tried to sell Strand Larson to Newcastle before people basically were you can't do that. And then they sold Pedro Neto, I think the summer before, to Chelsea. Didn't really replace him. Who else? Semedo was a pretty good, productive, kind of wing back player for them. Haven't replaced him. They let him go this summer. Ruben Neves used to be a cornerstone for them in the midfield. Haven't really gotten a replacement for that. Like they just consistently sell a lot of their best players, and I feel like they haven't really gotten any dogs back into the team to kind of help them stay up. And it's just like, if you keep doing that, you're gonna keep getting worse. Like I know you need money as a club to survive, but you gotta replace that, or else the Premier League, everyone else is just getting better and better and better. And I think we're seeing the full effect of that because them against Manchester United looked very much like a team that has not won a game all season. Like they are worth the 2 points that they have in the table right now. I will say that after watching the game. Like I don't even really want to get excited about United winning 4-1 because Wolves just looked so bad.
Yeah, they've been terrible.
Man.
Don't really have too much more to say than that. So good analysis on your part
Yeah.
of them. I'm selling all their best players, and yeah, Strand Larson is good, but he doesn't have like any service, and definitely does not have the confidence right now. So what is he supposed to do? And apart from him, there's really no one on that team.
Yeah, there really isn't. Like they've got, I guess, João Gomez is supposed to be a pretty good up and coming midfielder, but he's still up and coming.
He's not
Yeah,
creative or anything like that.
yeah, exactly. He's not creating chances are going to be the reason they're scoring goals. He's more of a destroyer type. And then I guess I really like that Bellegarde kid. But he's still super young, super raw. Like doesn't
Yeah,
really
no
have
end
the end
product.
product you can.
Yep.
Yeah, you can just tell he's like a talented player. And then he even got hurt and had to come off the field against United. So like there goes that player for them. And it's looking very bleak. I feel very bad for Rob Edwards.
Yeah, that was
Pretty
their
much an impossible job.
yeah, that was their like first goal since like mid-October or something they said, which is nuts.
Yeah, first goal in like over 5 games or something crazy. And like, what a job for Rob Edwards to try and do, where like he came into pretty much a team that was already cooked coming into it, and now he's got to try and find a way to motivate these players when everything that they do is booed. So you could tell how nervous they were to even try things within the match because they knew that they were going to get stick if it didn't come off. But like, you gotta be brave in order to like take these teams on and whatnot. I don't know. I don't see the route to points for them, sadly.
Yeah,
But I
it's
hope
looking
Rob
bleak.
Edwards does well. Yeah, looking very bleak. But let me get back to the game. United scored in the first half. A mistake in the back or good pressing from Casemiro, I don't know what you want to call it, that led to a very sloppy goal for United. Cunha finds the ball at the top of the box, plays not the best pass to Bruno, who also slips and somehow is able to get up and hit the ball, and the keeper gets a hand to it, but still just like slowly trickles into the goal. United go up 1-0. And then after the goal, United actually decided to sit back. That's like my biggest beef with the team. Like whenever we score, we get really defensive, even though we're only up 1 goal, and kind of sit deep. And we let Wolves kind of back into the game for no reason when we really should have just kept going at them. And Wolves were able to get their second goal, or not get their second goal, get their only goal late in the first half through that Bellegarde kid that I was talking about. And that was really annoying as a United fan to go in to halftime 1-1, especially after all the chances that we created. We could have been up 3-1, 4-1 in the first half if we just took our chances. But then second half comes out and Wolves were atrocious. United took over the game and Mbeumo scored pretty early into the second half, which I put in the notes here that it was needed because as good as he's been this season, the last 3 or 4, maybe like the last 3 games, he's looked really frustrated and it's just not been coming off for him. His touches have been loose. His decision making has maybe been a little bit off. Like in scenarios in the past where you expect him to get past the defender and shoot, he would like get past the defender and then like try and draw a penalty and flop it rather than like just hit the ball like he maybe should have, and just like little things like that. Even in the first half of this game, he looked like a pretty frustrated figure. Like I think he was getting frustrated with himself and that things just weren't coming off for him. And then the goal went in. I think you could tell like it kind of lifted a weight for him. And he performed better. And I'm hoping, I guess it doesn't really matter. We've only got like 1 more game with him before he goes to AFCON, so it's not going to be too much momentum. But I hope that helps out his confidence moving forward. And then second goal was a beautiful ball from Bruno Fernandes, who's just kind of like just outside the 18. Mason Mount makes a really, really intelligent run from like, he basically was on the blind side of both the right wing back and the right center back and just runs right in between them, completely unseen. And Bruno finds him really well with a nice ball, and Mason Mount finishes really cleanly. Bad organization from Wolves on their part, but good finish and good pass from Bruno and Mason Mount. So I'll take it. And then the third goal was a penalty that Bruno scored, well-taken penalty, and it was off of a handball in the box from Wolves, which was deserved, in my opinion. There was actually a similar one in the first half that I thought should have been called a penalty as well,
Mm-hmm.
but VAR checked it and cleared it, and I felt like the second one, I don't know if it was like a makeup call, but they were like, it felt like it was the same thing, and they gave the second one, which I'm happy about, especially as a Bruno owner in FPL, so I will take it. But yeah,
Yeah.
not too many thoughts on the game there.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a pin. The first one was even more so a pin, in my opinion. It was just clearer where it hit Agbadu, I think, on the arm. The
Yeah,
second one is a little harder to see, but I think both were pins. The way they kind of reached out their arms and made themselves
yeah,
bigger.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, just to sum up the performance, not taking too much away from a United perspective, other than Mason Mount is a baller. I think he's underrated, and I really like the rotations that we have when we play him in the team. Wolves are really, really bad, and I was happy to see United kind of make a routine win out of a game that should have been routine because we don't do that often. So nothing to call home about, but good to see us taking care of business in a game where you're supposed to take care of business, especially after off the back of like West Ham at home and then losing to Everton with 10 men.
Mm-hmm.
And then bigger picture looking ahead, United, after that win, we finally took a chance to take advantage of other teams around us dropping points, and United are now up into sixth place in the league, level on points with title contenders Chelsea. And then we got AFCON around the corner, which I'm scared about. So I'm glad we're at least getting some points before that period happens, because we're losing Mbumo, Mazraoui, and Ahmad to AFCON. No idea what we're going to do with that right-hand side, because that's our starting right 10 and right wing
Yeah.
back. And Mazraoui has been playing a decent amount of minutes at right center back. So we're going to have some players come into this team and help out some way, somehow. I'm not really sure what we're going to do, because Ahmad's our only like wing back. So I'm concerned there. Maybe we'll see some minutes from this kid, Shea Lacey. He's a young kid from the academy. I think maybe only 18 years old. He was looked at as the truth. People were saying he might make his first team debut as young as 16, but he's been struggling with injuries for the last few years. But he's looking like a really good player. Hopefully we see some more minutes from him. Obviously, like I think you said, Mason Mount is a good shout. Maybe we'll see Bruno move up into the 10 and some more minutes from Kabi Manu in midfield, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, AFCON is looking bleak. It's looking bleak for us. I'm scared. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I would think that they would maybe move Dallo to the right wing back since he's been playing and like looking really good from left wing back. So he's still
Yeah.
at wing back, and then I guess you'd maybe bring on
Dorgu.
Dorgu.
Yeah.
He's not Imran's preferred, but I would have to guess that's how you're gonna replace
Yeah.
Ahmad. And then you better hope that De Ligt comes back soon, and then that way, and like Maguire, because you're gonna be missing Mazraoui, he's been playing right center back. Maybe
Yeah.
play De Ligt at like center back if he's there, and put Hedman out if a Euro or Maguire's still injured. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Thoughts?
I could see what our starting lineup looks like, but then as soon as you have to make a sub, I feel like everything
Yeah,
falls apart.
or an injury
Because
happens.
or an injury happens, because our only wingbacks right now really are Dorgu, Dallo, Ahmad. And Ahmad's going to be gone. If you're playing Dorgu and Dallo, say one of them picks up an early yellow card, like, are you going to play them the whole game for 90 minutes? Are you going to risk that? Or are you going to like try and take them out? Mazraoui was the other player that like sometimes plays right wing back, and he's going to be gone.
Yep.
So I really am not sure what the solutions are going to be there. Maybe United go in for somebody in January to try and add a little bit of depth there, or they rely on the academy. But we're going to have to see something that hasn't been tried before. I'll say that. It was nice to see Lisandro Martinez. That's something I forgot to call out in here.
Oh, yeah.
It was great to see. It was great to see minutes from Kabi Manu. I wish they were like in a more important part of the game, but I thought he looked solid when he came on, and he got a nice run of 20 minutes, and I'm hoping it leads to him getting more, because I do think he looked really good. There's just a few moments there where I was like, if that's Bruno, Ugarte, or Casemiro, they lose the ball there. So great to see Manu, and then Lisandro Martinez came on. Didn't do anything crazy, but you can tell how much we've missed his on-ball quality in our back line. Like, I think Luke Shaw's actually had a great season at left center back, but Lissandro Martinez coming onto the pitch was really, really good. And he actually played center back for us, which is really interesting.
Hmm.
I say it's interesting because, one, he's not the biggest player, and you'd think you'd want a more aerially dominant player in there. But I guess when you have the ball, it doesn't really matter as much. And then if you don't have the ball at center back, it really allows him to kind of run the show from the middle and be the guy that's like mainly doing the distribution. And I thought he did really well at that. Even playing out from the back, this is getting nerdy into the tactics, but we invert our center back sometimes in the midfield, and a lot of people say that's like one of the worst things we do because our center backs are so useless, like on the ball, that like it's not even like a realistic option to like find your center back in midfield back to goal. But Lissandro Martinez is a player that can actually pull that off. So I'm interested to see if Amram goes with that more often, because he also played Aiden Heaven at center back in this game, who is also probably our second best center back on the ball, because Aiden Heaven grew up playing like midfield or like center defensive midfield for Arsenal in the academy. So he's kind of got that skill set. So I wonder if that's like a little bit of a preview into what's to come for United, but neither here nor there. Overall, like I said, good win, routine, but nothing to call home about. So I'm good to leave it there.
Nice. Yeah, my only takeaway is that you can thank me for the win, because I've continued to have a 0% success rate in picking the United results, and I picked Wolves to win this game. So I'll take the credit for United not messing up and getting Wolves their first win of the season, which you highlighted as something that could happen even though you didn't expect it to. Just because like the lore of Wolves getting their first win against United more than anything.
I was definitely scared, and I was thinking of you during the game, thinking, I was like, thank God Spain did not pick us, because especially after that first goal winner, I was like,
right before halftime.
Yeah, but I'm definitely happy that you did not pick us, and I might have to put a United ban on you for our predictions for our own sake.
I'll be okay with that, honestly. But also, I'm not enjoying finding out, or just not finding out, but just now realizing how many AFCON players you're going to be losing. That's not good for my hot take of last week, that Villa, the user going to finish above Villa come the new year. Doubly bad in terms of Villa looking good, getting 2 good results, and then you guys losing these AFCON players. So we shall see how this hot take plays out.
Yeah, we'll see. If we can get a result against Bournemouth, maybe we got a chance, but we'll see.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Arsenal versus Aston Villa. What did you think about that match? What did you notice?
Yes, that was a disappointing result for us. Lost 2-1 to Aston Villa off a late goal. Came from the last kick of the game from Amy Buendia. So in terms of team selection, no Gabriel, no Sleeper again, and no Mascara. So we went with Timber and Hincapié at center back, Ben White right back, Calafiori left back. Odegaard got his first start in a while after he's been reintegrated into the team. And I believe so. And then the other notable thing was that Eze started at left wing. I think Trossard would have started at left wing because Arteta's been loving picking him, but he came back from injury, or he was injured in the midweek, so he's just not getting back. And he didn't even last. He came out at halftime, didn't even last the full second half. So he definitely did not have the legs to start. Wow. So I think Trossard would have started just because he's Arteta's one of favorite players at the moment in terms of team selection.
Yeah.
But so it just really sucks not having our 2 center backs in terms of Gabriel and Saliba or Mascara. I think that's really about it in terms of like the team selection. Match summary, I thought the game started out pretty good for us. I thought we were in control for the first 25 minutes or so. Created some good chances, scored an offside goal. Saka was clearly off, so not really going to count that. But I thought we just looked good for the first 25 minutes. We had Aston Villa penned back. Sure, they were defending good in their low block, but we were in control. And then I'd say around like the 30th minute or so, they started like finding some counters. They had one chance, I think, for Watkins, and then Matty Cash scored his goal, where Eze fell asleep at the back post. Timber got ahead to it, but it still got past him off the cross. I think Saliba takes care of that if he's there, so I don't think that ends up being a goal, ideally, with our like strongest back four. But yeah, going in, and then they had like maybe one more chance after that. Halftime, we take off Eze for Trossard, take off Marina from Gyökeres. Marina looked pretty tired throughout the game, so I wasn't surprised by that. Eze was
Hmm.
pretty underwhelming all game, all half, so wasn't surprised by that. And Trossard's been great for us. Trossard scores early in the second half and he continues his really good form when he's been healthy, apart from the midweek where he was out, but he's been on fire in terms of goal scoring and just his performances, in my opinion.
Yep.
So again, we looked good to start the second half, but then Villa grew into the game and just started countering on us and getting tons of chances going against us, winning the ball and just countering quickly. I think
Hmm.
Watkins had a really good chance. Mullen had a really good chance. We didn't really create too much after. I guess Odegaard had some good shots from distance, but definitely was not our best performance, and we were giving away too many counter opportunities to Aston
Yeah.
Villa. And then they got the ball again in another counter, got it down to our box, really scrappy. In stoppage time, falls to Emi Wendia, who puts it into the back of the net, and they end up winning
Yeah.
the game with that last shot. But yeah, that's the match summary. I'll go into some performances, but any thoughts on just the general match summary?
We'll probably talk about some of the stuff that I want to talk about in the performance section, but
Mm.
I would say, I mean, I missed a lot of the match. I mostly saw like the end,
Yeah,
and
it
yeah,
was
I
the
mean, the goal, like
7:30
you
a.m.
said,
kickoff.
yeah. So the goal was like, I mean, it was scrappy, like you said. It was one of those things where like home team, crowd behind them, a little bit of madness, and it falls to the right player. Type of situation. Like it wasn't like it was like I didn't think it was like some major tactical failure or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but I saw that, and then I was gonna give a little shout out. I love to hate on Jadon Sancho, but I thought he did pretty well in his short little cameo as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give him his credit. I feel like he's had a hard time recently, so I'll give him credit where credit's due.
Nice. So move on to the performances now. And the biggest thing for me is, as I mentioned at the start of talking about Arsenal, is that no Gabriel, no Saliba has been killing us. I
Yeah,
don't. I think we hold them to one goal max in that game if we have both those guys. I
yeah,
think because of the way we play, we really like push everyone forward and just kind of have just them two at the back with like Zubamendi kind of floating across the front of them, and they are strong enough and good enough of a partnership to basically kill any counterattack on their own for the most part. Hincapié is kind of all over the place. He's raw. He's new to the league. He's still pretty young.
yeah,
So I think we give up one goal max, and I think we win that game if we have Saliba and Gabriel. So that's like the biggest detriment to our team, and it just kills me that we lost. We don't have either of them, and I think Mosquera is our third best center back, and he's also out. So I think that's like the
yeah,
biggest hurt to our team at the moment.
yeah. I think that's brutal, and I think I agree with that. I think a lot of people are seeing a little bit of a wobble with Arsenal right now and thinking like, oh, yeah, here comes like they're going to bottle the league here and there. But I do think you guys are more beat up than people are giving it credit for. Missing some of your best attackers, and then all your defenders seem to be just torn to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
You got Timber like now having to play right center back, which like yes, he was a center back at Ajax, but I think he is much better as a right back, especially in the Premier League.
Yep.
Not that he was poor necessarily. I mean, I guess I didn't watch all the game to say that he wasn't poor or was poor, but I didn't notice anything too crazy from him. But definitely not a natural position. So I think you guys are kind of piecemealing it and still surviving. But I think, I mean, you got Havertz coming back, I think, right around the corner. Is that true?
I don't even
Or
know.
is there
I
no
know.
release?
I
Okay.
know Gabriel Jesus is back, but I do have not heard an update from Havertz recently.
Okay. Gotcha. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess not too much to say about the performance in general from an Arsenal perspective. I was impressed with what I saw from Villa.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them their credit. Like we said, we called them frauds, but they did perform better. I think Kamara is an absolute baller on their team. I think
Yeah.
he's a very underrated player in the league. Matty Cash somehow keeps getting involved in the goals and assists. Like I feel like I watched a lot of Villa last season because of Marcus Rashford. Like I purposely would watch a good bit of them, and Matty Cash would try things, but they wouldn't come off. But I guess it's just coming off this season. I don't know. So good for him. Morgan Rogers is a baller. I love watching Amadou Onana, but yeah, nothing to like. Not I'm not taking any sort of grand takeaways from this to say like, oh, Arsenal definitely aren't going to win the league. I still think they have a lot of depth that's going to help them out in the long run. And then Villa, um, I think they're Villa. I think they're going to be in and around the Champions League / Europa League spots, but I'm not sure if they're going to maintain this third place position that they're at based on that performance that I saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and going back to our defense, we have no Gabriel, no Saliba, no Mascara. Calafiori is missing this next game for his fifth yellow card suspension. So we're down to literally our last four defenders. Lewis Scaly will come on. He was our only defender on the bench for us. So we had like some insane defensive depth. Everyone's talking about how he keeps signing defenders, but we're literally down to our last four and only defenders on the team for this upcoming game. Because thank God is Wolves at home, so I think we'll bounce back and get a comprehensive win.
Yeah.
Just the team we need to play right now. But
yeah, let me tell you, you'll be all right. You'll be all right against those guys.
Yeah, thank God. But yeah, injuries are killing us in the back line, and that's like our strong suit. That's what really brings so much stability to our team. And allows us to control games. Like I said, we can really push forward and just leave our two center backs in the back and be confident that they'll take care of business for us.
Yeah. I just feel like you're losing some set piece threat as well. I don't know.
Big time.
Yeah, like with not having Gabriel, Saliba, like Calafiori even is like one of the bigger guys in the box as well. So that'll be interesting against Wolves. But yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned like, Eze was underwhelming. Marino looked tired. Gyökeres was like pretty anonymous when he came on, which I don't love. But
I forgot about that.
I really hate that Gyökeres was so unimpactful, other than like sliding in at the very end of the game. And I know that was maybe a different. I can't remember what game that was now. Too many games recently. But I thought Rice was really good again. He was our best player. He continues to be our best player this season. Saka looked decent from the right, created some stuff, but not enough. I thought Odegaard looked to be one of our better players. I liked how many shots he was taking from outside the box. Just enjoy seeing more like confidence. He was striking the ball better than I've seen recently. That's really about it. And then Hincapié, like I said, needs to settle, just a little raw. But in terms of like the big picture looking ahead, yes, we're only ahead of City by 2 points now. But given all the injuries, we'll bounce back once we get everyone healthy. Hopefully we get some of these players back ASAP, especially our center backs. But I just don't think – we just saw in the midweek, City almost drew to Fulham after scoring 5 goals. The weekend before that, they dropped points. I just don't think City are going to be consistent enough. Liverpool aren't there. I don't think Villa are going to be able to put this for a whole season, continue this form. So ultimately, I do think we will still be good enough to win the title this year, and things will shake out in our favor once we get players healthy. So I'm not freaking out or anything. It just sucks. It's only a 2-point gap, but I'm not worried really at the moment.
Yeah. I think that makes sense to me. I think as someone that's been watching a lot of these teams near the top, I'm looking at Arsenal and I feel like you guys just have such good depth, and when everyone's healthy, you're not giving up goals, but you're still able to score goals. Man City, they were looking pretty good defensively. That 5 goals they gave up against Fulham will definitely hurt their defensive numbers, but if that's more of a blip, I think they've got a chance. But if they're going to continue to like leak goals out of nowhere in games and have like these mistakes that are going to kill them, I'm not sure. Like, they have decent depth, but I wonder if injuries could come back to haunt them again. I feel like they're not that. Their depth in the back isn't that good still. So that's something to watch out for. But I guess Rodri is still trying to come back, but I don't know if he'll ever be the same after all those injuries. It's hard to say. Hard to say. And then, like you said, Villa, I don't really trust them. Chelsea, don't trust them. Crystal Palace, I don't know what to make of them. I feel like we didn't really talk about them at all today. They got another big win against Fulham with the last second winner. And they're up into 4th place, but it feels like a Jenga tower for me with Crystal Palace, where they're one major key injury away from like that tower toppling. So
if Adam Morton gets injured, they're screwed.
Yeah, dude, that guy is that maybe should have been one of my performances of the week or players of the week. I was watching him. I mean, every time I watch him, he makes some crazy play, but specifically for Crystal Palace's first goal in that match, he had the ball came to him. He hit a nice like outside the foot, perfectly weighted pass switch, and then like comes up the field and like makes the second pass to Nketiah cutting in just perfectly, and I'm just
Right
like,
into his stride.
that guy is an absolute baller, man. What he does like with his passing is like every single week I'm like, wow, this guy is really, really good.
I love seeing his celebration for when Nketiah scored. He was so excited for it, like for his assist. Because I love doing that too. I love a good assist. So he was pumped on that. But yeah, he orchestrated that entire play. I think the NBC crew really highlighted that play well, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay.
But yeah, just the way he moves around the pitch, finds his space, finds his timing, and then his accuracy and placement of the ball is next level.
Yeah, left foot, right foot too, doesn't matter. Like he's very, very good. Whoever gets him this coming summer is getting an absolute gem of a player. I don't know who it's going to be. I'm scared it's going to be Liverpool, which I don't want to see, but that'll make him a lot less fun to root for. But I just don't really see who else he would go to, really. Like I know United are interested, but I feel like we're more interested in Elliot Anderson and Baleba. So we'll see. Never know. A lot can change though. A lot can change.
But yeah, I just think Palace's squad is too thin, or at least Glasgow doesn't rotate their team enough for them to be true title contenders. Because they're, like you said, Jang and Tao, they're so close to having things really go really poorly for them. Like Sarr is currently injured, and they're still getting results right now. But yeah, things could go so poorly for them if they get some injuries.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on Arsenal?
Nope, that's all for me.
All right. Well, if that's the case, that wraps up everything that was going on with Game Week 15. Now we can look ahead to Game Week 16 and do our predictions. So this is the part of the show where we like to look ahead to the matches coming up on the weekend and give our thoughts on who's going to win. Win, lose, draw, who's it going to be. We are keeping track of our predictions throughout the season. Right now, I am at 44. Spain is at 43, so it's still very, very tight. And we did double predictions last week with our last pod because we did Game Week 14 and 15 predictions. After Game Week 14, Spain was up, and then after Game Week 15, I made a little comeback, and I'm back up by one. So we're pretty neck and neck here. So it's going to be a big week of predictions coming up. Since I am leading by one, I will go first to give you a little bit extra time to think about these games as we go through them, if you want to start.
Sounds good. Yep. Chelsea versus Everton.
Everton, red hot form, and Chelsea not doing so hot, but Chelsea are at home. Is Caicedo back? Am I allowed to look at that first?
Yeah, go for it. I think he should be.
Either way, I'm going to go with a draw.
Okay, nice. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think we're probably going to pick Chelsea in that, unfortunately, but do not want to.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Liverpool versus Brighton.
Okay. Two very unpredictable teams for me as well. I am going to go with Liverpool. I don't feel good about it, but
that's a really tough one to pick.
Yeah.
Mo Salah's last game, potentially.
Yeah, right? I hope they give him a send-off if he plays.
Who knows?
Yeah, but I'm going to go Liverpool.
Okay. Burnley versus Fulham.
I feel like Fulham have been kind of cooking recently, so I'm going to go Fulham.
Okay, nice. Arsenal versus Wolves.
Arsenal. Don't even have to think about that one.
Yeah, that's easy. Palace versus City.
This is going to be an interesting one. I am actually going to go with a draw.
Nice.
Well, just because Palace is at home, yeah.
Yeah, do you think Palace are going to keep City to scoring a few goals, a few chances? Because Palace's defense is pretty good.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good. I feel like they don't give up too many chances. They really know how to kind of if they're not going to score, they at least know how to lock it down and not give up 3-4 goals at a time. So I'm going to go with Palace. It's going to be interesting, though. I was thinking about how the midweek games would affect them, but they both play midweek. Palace plays Thursday, City play Wednesday, but City play Real Madrid, which is going to be a high emotion, probably taxing game. So, I'm going to go draw.
Cool. Sunderland versus Newcastle.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one, man. Sunderland, Newcastle at the Stadium of Light. That is going to be a crazy, crazy game. And I think I have to go Sunderland in this one.
Nice. Forest versus Spurs.
Wow. I didn't know that was coming. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Forest versus Spurs. Um, hmm. I feel like Spurs are doing sneaky well. Forest, not so much. Spurs away form has been great. I'm going to go draw.
Okay. West Ham versus Villa.
West Ham versus Villa. I think Villa are going to do a very Villa thing and lose this game. I don't know why, but I'm going to go West Ham.
Fingers crossed for that one.
Yep.
Brentford versus Leeds.
Ooh, both teams both kind of playing well right now. No, I guess maybe not Brentford. Brentford's kind of been struggling, but they were playing well. Let me go draw.
Okay. And then United with another Monday night game against Bournemouth.
It's so annoying, but
I was going to ask
United,
you about it. Yeah, I hate all these Monday games.
It's so annoying, and all of our games for the last few weeks, and I think still foreseeable future. I think there's one or two more after that are either the Sunday 7 a.m. kickoff or Monday. It's so annoying.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah,
The worst time slots.
The worst time slots.
You cannot fully enjoy your team
at all. But yeah, that's it for my round of predictions, and I will come back around for you. All right, starting from the top here. Let's see. We've got Chelsea versus Everton.
I hate it, but I'm going to go with Chelsea. Just because they're at home, I think they've got to turn it around a little bit after they've had some bad results in a row. I would love to pick Everton in this one, but going to have to go with Chelsea.
Yeah. You'd think Cole Palmer maybe figures out how to kick on, I feel like he's been getting close, but not quite doing it.
Yeah.
All right. Next game is Liverpool versus Brighton.
I'm going to draw. Really don't know how this one's going to go. Like you said, two hard teams to predict, but yeah, draw. Just Liverpool have been bad, and Brighton are unpredictable, and they can get a result against anyone.
Yep. Burnley versus Fulham.
Fulham.
All right. Arsenal versus Wolves.
Arsenal, the best team versus worst team in the league, should be at home for Arsenal. We're going to right the ship. I think expecting a big bounce back win for us, and I think I'm going to play my free hit this week to go in hard on Arsenal's attack, and then preview for my next pick to swerve City.
Nice. I've got a few FPL dilemmas I'm thinking about this week. Let's go Palace versus City.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I'm going to go Palace for this one. Palace at home, like I said, City, I don't really trust them completely. Yes, Foden's been good and Haaland's been on fire, but Palace's defense is solid. They're playing at home. We're going to go Palace.
Yeah. Yep. All right, and then Sunderland, Newcastle.
I'm going to Sunderland too. Love that pick at home. Should be a really fun game.
They're going to be up for it.
Two northern cities. Newcastle are an aggressive team. Should be a fun game.
Yeah, dude, that's going to be awesome. I need to see what time that game is and just block my calendar there.
I know. I'm traveling on Saturday, so I'm really hoping it's not Saturday.
Let's see. We got Forest versus Spurs next.
No idea what to pick for this one. I've not been watching. I've not seen a Forest game in a long time, so it's hard to say.
I've been watching them, but whenever I'm watching, I'm just specifically watching Elliot Anderson and no one else really. I feel like their attackers are okay.
Go with Spurs since they've had good away form. You picked a draw, good for them, different. So Spurs, reluctantly.
Right. Fair enough. And then we've got West Ham versus Villa.
I'm going to go with the draw. West Ham have been looking a little bit better, and so yeah, draw.
Nice. Then we got Brentford versus Leeds.
Brentford.
All right. And then United versus Bournemouth. Keep in mind, Bournemouth has beat us a lot in the last couple of seasons. You want to go Bournemouth?
I'm going to go draw.
All right. Fair enough. I think it's actually probably a fair result. I'm worried about that game, to be honest.
Yeah, Semenyo finally gets on the board. They've been coming really close to scoring in multiple ways, so who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, draw.
Yeah, if Semenyo's playing off that left too, it's going to be Ahmad versus Semenyo, kind of. I mean, we'll see how we adapt to defending there, but yeah.
This should be a really interesting week for our predictions. We'll only pick three of the same results, which were
Wow,
Arsenal, Fulham, and Sunderland.
wow, going to be a pretty swingy week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Should be a fun one
Unless we
to.
get the third option that's not right for either of us
Yeah,
in the games
yeah,
where we went different.
yeah. Which I'm sure has happened plenty of times.
Yeah. I just went and looked though. Sunderland Newcastle is a 9 a.m. kickoff on Sunday. So if you're
Let's
around
go.
Sunday morning, you got it.
Good, good. Yeah, I'm going down to Raleigh for my cousin's graduation and flying back on Saturday
Nice,
afternoon.
nice, nice. Yeah. Another Monday kickoff for United. But all right, that's it for our Game Week 16 predictions. Should be some fun ones in here. I'm really enjoying watching the Premier League recently. I feel like all the games, like the league, if you even look at the table tells you the same story. It's so tight. Like from, let's see, Chelsea are on 25 points, and then Brentford and 14th are on 19. So I mean, 6 points is a decent gap, but like nothing crazy, and it feels like everyone can kind of beat anyone on any given
Mm-hmm.
Sunday or Saturday, I guess, or even Monday if you're United. So really interested to see what it looks like, but I've been really enjoying watching the games because it seems like we're getting some crazy results every single weekend, which is nice.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, should be some good ones this weekend.
All right. Miscellaneous FPL, anything you got for me is, outside of what we've already talked about.
I've had a terrible past couple of weeks of fantasy Premier League. It's been really like not fun to be keeping up
Yeah.
with it because I've been doing so terrible. Nothing's going right
Yeah.
for me. I'm bringing in Delict, who hasn't missed a single minute, misses both games. Um,
Yeah.
like in hindsight, it really like the midweek kind of threw me off because in hindsight, I could have brought in Foden if I like thought about it some more.
Hmm.
I could have done Njai to Foden and then whoever else, or like Njai down to Dewsbury Hall, which would have netted me so many more points and would have been like a much smarter
Yeah.
move. Just didn't really give myself enough time to think about it with the midweek hecticness. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna play my free hit this week, hoping it goes right for me. Gonna go all in on Arsenal's attack because our defense is kind of all messed up. I've got Munoz who's on a yellow flag, Calafiori who's out. Gonna swerve City, even though everyone's bringing in Foden. He's price rising like absolutely crazy. So
Hmm.
gonna play for it this week, make it fun. Hope things go right for me, and get back on this track and make up some ground on the ground I've lost recently.
Nice. So when you say Swerve City, does that include Erling Haaland?
I'll probably have him in the team just because he's gonna be but
Just to protect yourself a little bit?
just to protect myself a little bit. But we'll see. I need to spend more time with it and see what other forwards are out there, and see if there's any like bank or fixtures for forwards. Because it's like no,
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to bring in Gyökeres
Yeah.
because I don't know if he's going to start. And so that's like one like really nice fixture that I'm gonna not have enough afford from. So we'll really see. I'm definitely not um, counting it out not having Holland in my team.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Hopefully the free hit goes well for you. I'm not really sure what to do with my team. I feel like my team's kind of in an awkward place, but we've got all the 5 free transfers coming in from AFCON. So, there's a little bit of flexibility to switch the team up, and I'm not sure what I want to do. I used my free hit last week. Ended up working out nicely after the Bruno and Mbumo hauls. I was a
Mm-hmm.
little bit worried. I was on a red arrow before that United match, and that put me over. Um, let's see. Yeah, that put me over my safety score, which is nice. I felt good about it though. I liked the way that I went with the free hit. I went triple Newcastle, triple City. I kept my United assets, and then I had a couple from Brighton. I had Elliot Anderson on my bench, who was already on my team, but I brought in Tarkowski and Ben Heck on my bench, and that was the only disappointing part was my bench outscored some of my starters, but it's like hindsight 2020 stuff.
That's what the free hits. That's always going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And what's his name? Tiao got his clean sheet and bonus point ripped at the last second because
Yeah,
Ramsey got like a 90 plus minute PK for like,
PK
I don't know.
too.
Yeah. So that was really disappointing because he would have been on like maybe 7 or 8 points and would have been more comparable to Tarkovsky, who was on my bench, who scored a 9 pointer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'm glad O'Reilly got his points. Foden did his thing. Minte and Welbeck, though. I guess just going into like my actual team, because there are two players I did not free hit in. Those are two players that I actually have. I'm kind of worried about them. I thought Brighton were looking like really good picks, but I just don't really know what to do with them. And I'm wondering, do I move off of at least one of them so I'm just not so heavily invested in the Brighton attack, just with not being able to like see what's going on? Because Minte was getting all these FPL assists, but
Yeah,
not looking the best.
I don't like the Minte pick at all. I feel like you never really know when he's going to be involved. And
Hmm.
like I think Walsh talks about this a lot. But he's like a true winger. He's like
Yeah,
pacey down the wing, get to the byline, put in crosses, beat players, but he's not really involved with goals. So that was like the one thing I think I saw in your free hit team that I was a little skeptical about was like the double up on Minte and Welbeck, just because
yeah,
Brighton are so, like you already mentioned, so unpredictable.
yeah,
So yeah, Brighton or Mente is someone I would be fine with getting rid of, even though like he's being shouted by a lot of content creators. I just don't really trust
yeah,
him.
yeah. I think for me, like just eye test looking at the teams, but then Welbeck's, I guess Welbeck played 90 or close to it. Yeah, so Welbeck played 90. Minte got a 71st minute sub. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll look at my team, but that's probably where I'm going to go different. Going into the next week, I'll probably get rid of Minte for somebody. Maybe I get Harry Wilson in just for just for fun. But we'll see. And then I have a little bit of an issue with Calafiori. I was banking on him being able to play this Wolves match, but now he's suspended, so I'm not really sure what to do there. I'm like hoping like he looks pretty nailed, so I don't want to like transfer him out for no reason. Like at first I was scared. I was like, let me hold him for a couple of weeks and then transfer him out in case like he's a rotationalist with this congested fixture schedule. But I don't know. I don't know. Lots of questions to answer with my FPL team right now, but in general, I like what I'm seeing. I've got a couple good weeks in a row, or I guess two good weeks out of the last three. As long as I'm still going up, I'm happy. I'm trying to catch this main pack, bro. In our mini league, Max is just running away with it, and then even Lucas and Connor Anderson have been doing pretty well. All I was saying was that I'm trying to climb the ranks of the mini league, but the guys at the top are just, I feel like they're flying. It feels like impossible to catch them, but I'm hoping. I've still got my triple captain in my back pocket. I feel like my chip usage has gone pretty well. My wild card week went really well. My bench boost was good enough. Free hit, I felt like went well. So now I just got to nail this triple captain decision as my way to really climb back up the ranks here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm close to entering that top 1 million, which is nice, which is kind of where I wanted to be going into the new year. So, you know, happy as far as FPL wise is going.
Nice. I just noticed Logan Jernigan is ahead of me, which is not acceptable. So
Yeah,
I got to
Logan's
get
been
my shit.
flying, man.
Yeah, I've not. See, I've been like looking at the people ahead of me, not really looking at the people below me. But
Uh huh.
with how bad I've been doing the past 2 or 3 weeks, he's
Hmm.
gone ahead of me. I'm worried now because I cannot
Yeah,
let that happen.
yeah. He had a great free
But
hit
props to him.
13.
Props to him.
Yeah, he had a great free hit 13 that gave him like a 46% green arrow. And I think that's what made
Wow.
him fly up the ranks.
Yeah, well, good. Well, I'm sure things will turn around for me. But yeah, tough times. Have you brought in Foden yet?
No, I have not. That's the one thing I'm looking at my team and I'm like, am I buying the not the dip but the peak? You know, am I
He's
and
gone
boom.
like point 0.2 the past like 2 or 3 weeks, so
Yeah,
he's just
he's
flying.
price locked at least for this week. Like I think
Why?
he's gone up he's got three price rises in the week already. So I guess you can't go up any more than that in a
Oh,
game week,
oh,
right?
he's. Oh, I thank God he's gone up. I think point 0.2 this week, but I think last week he went up point 0.3. I could. There? What is the max number price rise you can have in a
Maybe
week?
I thought it was point 0.3
Okay.
because I saw he's 8.6 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw, I don't know, there's like an FPL price predictor account that I follow, and they're like, if you basically like Foden's about to rise one more time, but then he's going to be locked, I believe, unless they were talking about
Okay.
last week when he got to, I don't know when the week cutoff is, I guess, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, just thank God they like cap it because with with everyone having five extra transfers, that's why I was so worried because my plan is to play free hit this week, swerve him, and then bring him in for Embuemo the following week when Embuemo goes to AFCON and City have
Yep.
West Ham at home.
Yep. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm worried because that was my plan. I was basically like, I'm scared that I'm gonna keep Mbumo too long, and then I'm gonna have to free hit in 16, and I'm gonna lose value on Mbumo because he didn't do well, and then Foden's gonna skyrocket up, and then I'm gonna get priced out of him. So
Mm-hmm.
that hasn't happened yet, but then Mbumo scores, so I'm like, do I get rid of Mbumo right before he goes to AFCON, like a home game for United as well? Like, am I willing to take on? I guess I could take Phil Foden on against Crystal Palace, though. I can live
I
with
think
that for 1 week.
yeah, I think this is an okay week to take him on.
Yeah, just as long as he doesn't keep rising in price, though, is the thing.
Yeah, you'll just have to like bring him in on like Saturday or something. Like just look at it over the weekend and make sure you hop on it before like super early before you miss any other price rises.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Because a lot of times with I'm assuming the deadline's Saturday, a lot of like even like there's like Saturday price rises from people bringing him
There
in the day
are.
before if he's not priced. So yeah, I can see him rising again on Saturday even. So I'm gonna make sure to stay on top of that and get
Yeah,
that in ASAP, lock that in.
yep, yep. But it should be a fun few weeks of FPL coming up. Still so many games, midweek games, and stuff like that going on. Lots of decisions to make. We got all these new transfers. People are trying to use their last couple chips if they still got them. And then we have the reset happening in game week 20.
I can't remember if it was 19 or 20.
Yeah, I feel like 19's the halfway
It's the
point, right?
last
Because
one.
it's, yeah, I think so. So, not that anyone's.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, no problem. I think we lost Tochi here, but thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. And yeah, we'll catch you next week and enjoy the weekend of footy.